Hello and welcome to Blind Tag Wrestling News Now. Review, that is. Where we're going to talk about a little bit of Friday Night Fizzites.
Oh, yeah.
I'm John.
I'm Raja.
And you are watching this now because, listen, here's the deal, dude. Rampage. Oh, Rampage. Oh, Rampage. Let me tell you, you were good.
Yes.
I have to give it to you. You were good in parts I didn't think you were going to be good in.
Same.
And, I mean, really didn't think
Outweighed expectations.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I was not sold on most of it.
I wasn't either. Like, I was a little bit upset. Look, if you're going to throw the Punk card, if you're going to throw the Golden Challenge,
yeah,
you need to make sure that you've got all your cons in a row. Wow. Make sure they're all in a row.
Yes.
But
if they're not in a row, you're in trouble.
It didn't feel like they were all in a row.
No, going into tonight, we were kind of like...
I was worried about the Wrathacon on this one. Seriously.
There was a con way over there. We didn't know what was going on.
Good Lord. Watch your pointer. So, I mean, it's... SmackDown, we know what they did. We talked about this. This was a big deal this week. Huge deal this week. Maybe the biggest big deal of the week.
Yeah.
For the recap, last week we found out that wrestling was going to be preempted on the Fox network due to baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's a home run.
Yes.
Maybe even a grand slam.
No, we did that already.
Okay. I thought it'd be worth a try. But, okay, WWE on FS1. FS1, it's got basically the same number of viewers the same number of available viewers that TNT does. They can't help it. They don't put enough on there that people want to watch. But, everybody pretty much has FS1.
Yes.
Okay? No big deal there. But when SmackDown goes there, they significantly drop. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference, huge difference in network and cable. Mm-hmm. To this very day, there still is. It's just a huge difference, or it always has been a huge difference in the number of viewers. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, like common viewers, whatever, they don't know that. They just go into it and they see like this number versus this number.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's so much bigger. Mm-hmm. Network is just bigger, and it's going to have a lot more viewers. So the whole deal with it is when this happened, it would look like with the numbers Rampage would normally get, you could possibly beat that on a head-to-head.
Yeah,
and
possible.
What happened is instead of going 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, which they normally would do, they decided to have a supersized SmackDown.
Which I think is a little generous.
Supersized.
Given what they added.
30 extra minutes of commercial-free nonsense.
Yes.
So, no, 30 minutes commercial-free. Goes off at 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast.
Yes.
And what that's doing is 30 minutes head-to-head with Rampage. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. TK, Tony Khan, the Coninator, would not have this. So he was just like, okay, well played. Well played, old boy. He didn't do the Zack Sabre Jr.
Aw.
Oh, well played. Shut up there, Dolly Constantine. Yes, I'm Peter Corbins. Okay.
Are they playing cricket?
Yeah. So they all play cricket, right?
It was preempted by cricket.
Yeah.
God save the Queen. That's okay. Bob's your uncle.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Bob is your uncle. And so when this happened, Tony's like, all right, F off. Here's the deal. We're going to beat you. It's going to be nice going head to head with you. I've been waiting for this day.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of like,
slow down. Step on the brakes.
And even the timing of it coming out is like the post-party time for the show, like, oh yeah, so it's pretty bad, but it could happen.
Yeah.
As of right now, this is a live review for us.
So much potential.
We have no idea, right?
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, not only did he do that, because they really stacked SmackDown, and we have already announced on the Tony Khan side of things, it's already been announced, the card.
Yes.
It's there, and it's not, it's a good card.
Yeah.
But it's not a not a channel changing card. Not with the talent roster you have.
Yeah.
That deep roster that you have, that NWO versus the world roster that you have. I mean, seriously, best game ever. I don't care. People can say what they want to about this game or that game. For me, I'll never forget you. I love you. Such a great game. Anyway, so you got this deep roster. And, Young Bucks versus, somebody. I mean, if I'm going to be having my first time against WWE head-to-head, I'm going to have I just put together this little nasty card, this little tiny card here. I got Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks in a Mexican hot match. What was a Mexican hot match? You'll just have to watch it. I don't know. It could be like electrified corners.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Who we kill Rick Knox halfway through.
You put Adam Cole versus Bryan Danielson versus Ruby Soho. Just throw them all in there.
Versus Ruby Soho. Okay, you've lost. No, you're booking in the wrong territory.
Sorry.
So, yeah, we didn't do anything like that. To his credit, they're still in his back pocket, right?
Yeah.
But he always sticks to his guns. I do respect that, honestly. And we learn our lesson every now and then.
Yes, he did already announce the matches before the Supersize SmackDown was announced.
Yeah,
so
we're not going to bury the lead here, so I'm not going to talk about those matches yet and how that transpired. But I will say, also throughout the week, where he's like, "Well, we're also going to do a buy-in."
Yeah, a 1 hour buy-in on YouTube before Rampage.
Exactly.
That'll go directly against SmackDown.
It will go directly against SmackDown. Live, YouTube, free. So that shouldn't hurt anything, should it?
No.
I mean, it's just a live YouTube show.
It's just on the internet.
I mean, it would have to have something pretty significant for anybody to even care.
Yeah.
I mean,
something crazy that you'd have to just pull out of your pocket out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean,
things that take months to book.
Yeah. Like fainting goats. I love fainting goats. But
close.
Yeah. It wasn't one of those.
No.
There was a goat.
There was.
And it was against a gremlin, troll, little warlord,
I'll protect this bridge.
Our characters.
Yeah. Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson.
I think the world imploded a little bit when he announced that.
Would he be Danielson's son?
I guess.
Do they do the double thing there?
Well, it's Danielson.
Son.
So, I mean, that's his name. So you have to say his whole name and then
that's
the
fantastic.
honorific.
I'd want to go to New Japan as well. Danielson's son. Sorry. It's really fun now. So anyway, let's get to that.
Yes, the buy-in. Oh, man. It was insanity.
I feel war coming.
Yeah. I mean, the gauntlet has been thrown.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
So we started off the buy-in with Ty Conti versus Santana Garrett, which is a little bit of a rematch.
It is. From what show?
NXT.
Yeah.
The old NXT. May he rest in peace.
Hold on a second. It's my 40. It's for my homies.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Women's action where they just kick the crap out of each other.
Sorry.
As Ty Conti does.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, there's a lot of action and a lot of back and forth. And Santana, she looked really good. She has since she showed up here.
Yeah.
And, Ty Conti had to do what she had to do. She took it over. And she really was, the crowd was kind of like, they were trying to get going.
Yeah.
I was worried about this crowd. That's a big part to this whole story.
Yeah.
I was worried about the crowd at first.
Yeah, me too.
And they were trying.
They weren't totally engaged.
There was the one dude, that was over somewhere in the corner. And it's just like, yeah. It's really hard to get a Ty Conti chant. I was sitting there thinking, was it TJ? Right? They could have done like the TJ chant or something or.
You think it'd be easy because it's 3 syllables. It's kind of awkward.
I mean, there's a lot that's not allowed anymore that would have been good, but who knows?
She needs a nickname.
Yeah.
Not Bootylicious.
All right.
So then we moved on to Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty. A very technical matchup.
It was technically a matchup. And
yeah.
it was good, solid, fundamental.
Yeah.
It was great for wrestling class.
It was fundamental.
Yeah. The problem with this match, for me, and it's one of those things like being around the business for a couple decades, anybody that I'm friends with from said area is like, this fangirling all over the place. I'm thinking from a perspective of a common wrestling fan that's not normally, not hardcore, not even an indie fan.
Right.
If you're not an indie fan, you have no bloody clue who Moriarty is. You think that he killed Sherlock. That's what you're thinking.
That guy from the Holmes books?
Right, yeah. I mean, you're looking for that, right?
Right.
And it's not going to happen. So I don't know. This to me, the pace of it, it's almost like you had your popcorn match before the big match instead of after.
It was slow.
And again, there was nothing wrong with this match. This match was wrestling.
Yeah.
It was really good. And it was just not what I would have done.
It's a specific flavor.
Yeah. I would have had a spot fest because we didn't really have one of those.
Yeah.
So I would have probably had like a Jungle Boy or something like that just to get the crowd alive.
Get get their blood pumping.
Yeah, just to feel something, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
It didn't have that.
No, it was very basic.
What's funny is Florida. When we were in Miami tonight, Florida traditionally in the Florida territory was the highest work rate territory.
Right.
So if you went to Florida, you were not going to survive with a New York gimmick.
Right.
You just weren't. It had to be work rate. And I mean the most elaborate. They were famous for their elaborate finishes.
Right.
And, so Eddie Graham's booking was just amazing. And so if somebody would go there that was used to a normal like roll up, and it would be like this 5-minute finish.
Wow.
And it's just like, oh, okay. So it's any fans left from that era, both of them would have appreciated that.
Right.
But I don't know. It was always a work rate area. Maybe somebody's mindset was there. I don't know. But anyway, we made up for it in droves.
Yeah.
Because none of this matters now.
No.
None of this matters.
No.
What happened next?
So the main event of the buy-in was Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki in an absolute slugfest. Just total slobber knocker. I wish JR had been there.
Yeah.
Shh, calm down. We had this problem during the match, too.
There was violence.
Talk about get your blood pumping.
There was violence.
There's spot fests, and then there's this.
Yeah, man. I took her leg. And it was just like, It was beauty. It was
man.
It was wrestling
Yes.
personified.
Because there was technical wrestling, and then there was just forearm to the face.
Man, it was just that stuff that makes...
It left you with a feeling. You're like, everything that happens kind of a blur, but you still feel it, and you're like, oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was amazing. It was
You're
amazing.
just jacked. You're like ready to go.
You come off a match like Omega Danielson, and you're like, that's the best television match of the year as far as free TV goes.
Right.
You come into this, and you're just, and your expectations. Listen, I've seen every Suzuki match for last 10 years, and there's been some great matches, but they're not that kind of great match.
No, they're
Not
usually kind of
normally.
silly.
Yeah, they're normally not like that because
Comedy bit to
he
him.
has this ambiance to him where you're just kind of like, ooh, hey. And there's a lot, not begging off, but there's a whole lot of that like respect to the degree of you don't want to make him mad. You're going to powder. You're going to,
Right.
that kind of stuff. He's going to go crazy. He's going to have a lot of shenanigans going
He's gonna
on.
laugh at you.
Yeah, a lot of shenanigans outside the ring. He's got his Suzuki spots.
Yeah.
And that's just what you're looking for. You know those Suzuki spots, and that's fun, and there's a good exchange going there. But Danielson made him work.
Yeah. Oh boy,
And
did he?
It was work.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But here's the thing. Suzuki worked.
Yeah, he did not just lay down and
Dude,
give up. He
it
was
not
there.
it was not like seeing somebody led. It was good. It was great. It was fantastic. It was amazing.
Shoo.
It could not have been better on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like, I didn't feel like they were holding something back.
No, like trying to pad it or something just to get through the time.
Although Danielson has more that he could give, just from an athletic perspective.
That's not really the kind of match it was.
That
though.
was not the type of match it was. Suzuki gave more than I've seen Suzuki give.
Yeah, it was like the most Suzuki we've seen
I mean,
in a long time.
he's 52 years old, and it's just unreal. You know, it's crazy. I saw Bix put up on Twitter, you know, right during the match or right after the match that, you know, some 14, 16, whatever years ago, whenever Suzuki came back to wrestling,
Right.
they said, well, he's a novelty. He'll be around for a short run and playing off of the MMA gimmick.
Right.
And then it'll be done.
Uh-huh.
And here we are, right?
Yeah.
So just an amazing
Absolute
performance.
legend.
This match was so good.
It was. And we were sitting there near the end of it and we were like, how are they just going to go into Rampage? How are you going to follow that?
I mean, I'd love to give you a play-by-play on this,
It's impossible.
but it's not even like that.
No.
It's 1, 2, 1, 2, and not just that. You got the near falls. Yeah, you have, you know, going for cattle mutilation. You have Suzuki powering out of some, you know, holds that people don't power out of.
Yeah.
You know, some really beautiful stuff. And here he wins with, it's not a slip over because he got the straight, you know, pin, but he used the knee and, you know, got the pinfall that way, which was really beautiful because it was so real.
Yeah.
It was so sudden.
Yeah.
And, you know, so Suzuki's mind's on, well, I'm not going to get caught in this. I'm not going to get caught in you know, in anything that is a submission related move, you know, almost like a pride thing.
So Danielson's like, all right.
Yeah. And
Knee in the face.
then he gets the knee, boom, 1, 2, 3. And it was
man.
just, listen, the fans got so far up. And that same crowd I was talking about earlier, that crowd was on fire.
It did not stop the entire match.
They were absolutely there
Yes.
for Danielson.
This got them so pumped for wrestling. Like, man.
They were doing the yes. They were doing the no.
Yeah.
They were so into this match with
They
everything.
did yes and C.
Really, yes. They were very, you know, they let their Spanish show. And which was, it even made it better.
Yeah.
It even made it better. So that was the
All the
YouTube,
chants.
the buy-in part of it. That, you know, buy-in went off the air with them doing the entrances for the CM Punk match.
They did Matt Seidel's entrance.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, turn it over and everything. So when people did, we got the CM Punk match. Now, I was worried.
Yeah, me too.
The many things I'm worried about. Listen, Seidel has not been positioned as a top-tier guy.
No.
Is he? Yeah.
Absolutely.
He has been for years. He's not been really positioned that way, and that's not saying anything about his run or anything like that.
Right.
It's just not been that way. But he comes out here. They show the history. You know, anybody who watched the history package, you know, you got to see IWA Mid-South.
Yeah.
They talked about all their former matches, which was amazing. That's something else you're not going to get anywhere else. You know, so they come out there. CM Punk looks better than I've seen him look since he's been here.
Yeah,
now,
he
I'm
just
just talking
keeps
about
looking better and
physical
better.
appearance, you know, all that stuff, and he looked more serious. He was not going to like play to the crowd or pander to all this stuff. He comes out there ready for this, but
Because he respects Matt Seidel.
exactly, and they show that, don't they?
They shake hands before the match. It's
Yeah.
very respectful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he got a little dirty during the match,
Well,
but
I mean, it's CM Punk.
he still respects him.
We're all just waiting.
Yes.
I mean, come on, Phil.
Oh,
We're all
man.
just waiting. We see you, buddy.
It was a solid match.
It was.
And the crowd did not lose steam
No, that was-
during the whole match.
That was the other thing. For crowds who always lose steam after a match of the magnitude that we've seen,
Yeah.
this was awesome. It was really great, man. And it wasn't one of those that was like some, you know, monkey rana.
Yeah.
There was high impact moves, there was high spots, but it was not that way.
No.
They did a different style match, but still a wrestling storytelling match.
Yeah, I thought it was great that Seidel kept slipping out of everything, and then he goes for the crucifix and gets on Punk's shoulders, and Punk is like, oh, okay, just go to sleep.
Yeah, it was great, man. The story being told was great. I love CM Punk coming in a little bit better, right? A little bit more each time. A little bit, okay, I remember this. Okay, I'm
Shaking off
doing
the
this.
rust.
You know, this time it was only a week between matches. You know, they're a little bit more and more as it goes.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking a little bit meaner and slimmer and this and that, just wrestling shape. So, you know, fantastic stuff. It ended the way it should.
Yeah.
And even a show respected to end. And then
Yes. Well, after that match, we had a little promo from the Dark Order who are happy that Hangman is back. And they're upset at the Elite. And they're like, we don't want you to interfere in anything. So they challenge the Young Bucks to a match, which should be fun. It's always fun to see the Dark Order.
When did they challenge them for the match?
They didn't say.
Okay.
It was just a challenge. Generic challenge
All
to the
right.
Young Bucks. I don't know if we'll get that at Full Gear or before then.
Yeah. Interesting considering, notebooks and stuff being held with
Yes,
matches
indeed.
listed.
And then we had Ruby Soho's match against the Bunny,
Yeah.
which was good.
Yeah. Actually, Bunny is she's starting to look, like mean.
Yeah.
And
She is mean.
that's a good thing about it. Like she's got some really, stiff moves, man.
Yeah.
She's
a bit aggressive.
And, sticking with her on a weekly basis.
Building her up
as
a legitimate person.
Yeah, and on the big shows.
Yeah.
She's really been positioned in that way now where, when you hear her, it's not like, oh, that ballet's wrestling again. And, even afterwards, we had some shenanigans.
Yeah, because Penelope Ford got in there and used the brass knucks, I think her and Penelope, Bunny and Penelope, are like some of the top heel women in the division right at this moment.
Absolutely.
But of course, Penelope has a match coming up tomorrow night, so we'll see if she gets her comeuppance.
The comeuppance.
And then we headed into the main event, which I was not totally sold on going into it.
Me either.
Because, I've never really been that over on the Men of the Year.
Right. Me
and
either.
when you put someone in the ring for the first time, you never know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So I was kind of concerned that this match was not going to deliver. And I am okay admitting that I was totally wrong.
Yeah, me too. So I think you put it great.
Yeah.
We didn't discuss this beforehand.
No.
And it was almost, an anxiety kind of thing, not wanting to jinx it. But we know what it's what it's going to look like. And it's not exactly, it's not like we've seen Jake Hager carry somebody in a match,
No.
Jericho, as of recently, has not been, it's not a guaranteed 5-star.
No.
And so there's a lot there to worry about. And then on the other side, you've got Men of the Year, fantastic workers.
Yeah.
And Junior Dos Santos. You've got Sagano himself. You've got, this amazing heavyweight, former UFC champion. And I have to say, we've all seen the Roman comments. Okay? And Roman talking about one Mr. Phil.
Yes.
And his UFC career. I think it's kind of funny when you start throwing shade. You might want to look up records and think about this fact. On the main event from the t-shirt company, they had a guy making his debut that was former UFC champion. And one of his knockouts, I think under a minute knockouts, was against Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez, who owned the soul of Brock Lesnar and beat his ass pillar to post. That guy that they're having you be scared of.
Yeah.
So when that old adage of don't down your opponent to that degree, because what you're going to look like when the guy you're calling fat, dumb, lazy beats your ass.
Right.
So you build people.
Come say it to my face.
You build people up. You say, well, that's really great competition. I hope we can. I hope we can win. I know in my heart we can win. We're the better product. Whatever.
But we're gonna have to work really hard.
Yeah,
because they're competition.
Absolutely. I just think it's one of those things that legitimately. The main event on the other show was the contract signing. So the main event on one show had a guy who knocked out the guy who knocked this guy out. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm just gonna lay that right there. That's there.
That's there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
This match over-delivered.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, there was a lot of things I was worried about going into it.
Yeah.
As we talked about, but it had, is it a 5-star match? No. No, by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
It is not a 5-star match. Has no business being a 5-star match.
But it was entertaining.
It was entertaining. Dan Lambert, 100%. Next level.
Yes.
Great manager. And, they sing Jericho to the ring. And what happens? He comes out and he's got something to work with right off the bat. And he's like, hey, this is our hometown.
Sing us to the ring.
Yeah, sing us to the damn ring. So you got all that. You got Paige Van Zant and her OnlyFans all around her.
Dos Santos went through a table.
Come on, you're jumping a shark here, babe. That's a little bit into it. Junior Dos Santos looked
Trying to distract for the Paige Van Zant thing.
He looked amazing.
He did.
He looked ripped. He looked younger than he is. He looked legit because he is. And my favorite part of this match early on is when Dos Santos and Jake Hager
they
are
were
in
great
the ring
together.
I've seen a lot of people try to work the shoot with MMA and do a terrible job of it. This looked great. This looked really great. It actually looked like at times that like Hager went for a single and he didn't get it because Junior kind of like circled out and then kind of made fun of him, and then Hager flips him off. I mean, it was almost like they were really working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it did.
They were going for it, and that's what would happen. Like, and even like when Hager finally gets him and does the big throw, totally a wrestler thing.
Yeah.
You know, totally going in there.
Like the running.
Yeah, totally going in there and getting the high crotch and throwing, and it's just awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So I really love that. And then you had enough of the wrestling sprinkled in there. You had Guevara doing some really Ray Phoenix type stuff recently.
Yeah, he looked great.
He's had a lot of explosion to him, and it's really cool, especially in a match that's going kind of at a deliberate pace.
Yeah.
And then you have
him get in there and just
he just pandas all over everybody.
Oh, it was crazy.
So really, really, really great stuff for a main event.
And this is not over because American Top Team just keeps on cheating with Jorge. Is Jorge going to get in the ring? Is he going to finish this knee business?
It has to. Went and done it twice, so Jorge and Jericho is going to have to happen.
Yeah. He has to answer for it.
I mean, he got... Listen, it cost him the match. Mm-hmm. Jorge and his flying knee. And yes, homeboy went through the table. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was really a good finish to keep the heat.
Yeah.
And then there was some beatdowns. The beatdowns looked a bit stiff, looked a bit like Jericho was going to go Jericho on a few people, because I seen some
lighten up.
Some pretty hardcore covering up there.
Goodness.
But eventually the save was made by
Santana and Ortiz. Mm-hmm. We had the whole inner circle all together.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, been a second since that, and of course I'm glad to see them wearing the paint still.
Yes.
I'm really happy about the paint.
I suppose they will go against Men of the Year here soon.
Yeah, you would think that's going to be what happens, but so what we got coming up on Dynamite?
Oh man, tomorrow night's Dynamite is stacked. First of all, we got Dante Martin and his challenge with Malachi Black. Oh, Dante is gonna die.
Win.
Or win.
It's AEW. You
never know.
You just don't.
Then we have the Lucha Brothers facing off against Andrade's masked tag team.
Who is it?
Who could it be?
So listen, we've talked about that quite a bit, and we have talked about the fact of who we would like to see it as.
Yes, we know who we want it to be.
and who even we want it to be, thinking it could possibly be.
Yeah.
And, you know, so...
There's every chance in the world it could be these people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a lot of people are with us on that.
Yeah.
Just as a refresher, who's some of the teams we're talking about possibly being.
Well, the big one is Dragon Lee and Dralistico.
Yeah. Which is that if that happened, that would mean working agreements that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
Or a way to circumvent certain things because it's for the AAA titles.
Yeah. They're a Ring of Honor tag team, but they showed up in AAA. It's for the AAA titles.
And according to Observer, you know, we do know for a fact that AAA has working agreement with AEW somewhat. Yes. And if that's true with AAA, what's the other match we could have?
We could have Laredo Kid and El Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah, so the Viking and the Kid there.
One of the great tag teams.
We're already familiar with Laredo Kid in AEW. He's already been introduced into the multiverse, right?
He's teamed with the Lucha Brothers.
Exactly. Everybody loves him. He's amazing. Vikingo, people have been just dying for him to come to the States. So this is just amazing possibilities that could happen on either end of this.
On the other hand, it could be Fuego del Sol and Fuego del Sol Jr. Fuego 2.
Oh, wow. It could be. It could be, actually. Well, so Dave Meltzer in yesterday's Wrestling Observer, today's Wrestling Observer, however you want to look at it, he had something in there about this, and it also backed up something he had kind of said before, and it's like, you know, thinking it's a red herring.
Okay.
You know, the whole Lucha team That's
Masked
where
team.
our head's going that way.
Yeah.
And we would think, of course, there is a Rhodes in this company, so it could totally be the Midnight Rider thing. It could
Right.
be somebody else.
Yeah, it could just be someone wearing a mask.
Somebody wanting the Lucha Bros.
Mm-hmm.
So who has been wanting the Lucha Bros? Well, I think I know who it's going to be.
Okay.
I think it's going to be FTR.
Ooh.
FTR is going to be wearing the James Boys outfits. It's going to come out as Frank and Jesse James. It's going to go back to Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes as they came out against the Midnight Express in 1986. Because the Midnight Express didn't want to face him or whatever, so they come out as the James Boys only because of Tully Blanchard, only because of loving the old school. Excuse me, does it not make sense?
Yeah, it kind of does.
And if we were looking at a notebook and we believe anything that's on there, there was FTR versus the Lucha Bros. Just saying. So
Scheming.
that would be, listen, if I see the James Boys come out for that, I'd pop. What else we got?
Oh, we also have Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta.
Just shut up. Let's just go home.
Kiera Hogan versus Penelope Ford.
Yes.
And we find out who's going to be in the World Title Eliminator Tournament, which will cap off at Full Gear, of course.
Where's Britt Baker? I want Britt Baker.
Where has she been?
I don't know, but I want her.
Britt, where are you?
Yeah.
We also got a few little announcements for next week's Rampage, such as Pac versus Andrade, too.
Yeah, Lord.
And we're going to find out the bracket for the TBS Women's Tournament, and the World Title Eliminator Tournament is going to start next week. So, yeah.
It's nonstop, pal.
It is. Just keeps going.
It really is. So,
Never stops.
Also tonight there was SmackDown,
There was indeed.
and we're going to give you a real quick lineup of that. Just,
Of what happened.
yeah.
Just real quick.
Just gonna.
So started off with Edge addressing Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Very intense promo.
Addressing.
Yes. Addressing, not undressing.
Edge dressing Seth Rollins is a whole different set of.
But apparently Seth Rollins pissed all over his house. So
Yeah,
I guess
that was one of my
he could
favorite
do whatever
lines
he wants.
Ever. I mean, how did he say it?
He said you came into my home and you pissed all over it.
I mean, did everybody not get the visual
I did.
of Seth being like,
Hey!
I totally believe
That's
it.
right, Edge.
Like Edge comes home and he's like, "What is this?"
That's right, Batman. I pissed all over your house.
Oh dear Lord. So Finn Balor defeated Sami Zayn in the King of the Ring tournament match.
he defeated Sami Zayn in the Guess Who's Not Going to Go to Crown Jewel match. Let you figure that one out yourself, Saudi Arabia.
We had Sonya Deville's return to the ring, sort of.
We had bait and switch number 1.
Baszler and Switch.
Yeah.
Yes, Naomi versus Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville, and she got her butt kicked, And then Seth Rollins was out there. He's like, "I'm not scared of you, Edge. I pissed all over your house. I'll get in a cage with you." Zelina Vega defeated Carmella in their Queen's Crown match, which lasted less than 3 minutes.
Carmella.
At least you won't have to see her in the tournament anymore with her mask. We had Happy Talk, which was interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura and Boogs. Fun stuff.
Yes.
The Usos defeated the Street Profits in a street fight, which seems, I don't know, counterintuitive. They're the Street Profits. They should know
Right.
how to win a street fight.
They don't.
Sasha Banks defeated Becky Lynch.
This was the big top of the hour to you. This was the big, we're going to go Rampage live, but we've got Murder Grandpa going against that damn dragon.
At least there was a finish.
There was a finish.
We could be happy about that.
And the finish was?
Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks wins over Becky Lynch.
Pretty big time there.
It is. It's a big implication.
It really is.
And then, of course, we had the contract signing between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And Brock is still playing the Paul Heyman card.
And they built up some big drama on this, which is really cool. There's actually some good lines in this, and he called him redneck farmer or whatever. Roman did. Pronouns, pal. Shut up, Vince.
And Brock is like, "I already looked over the contract with Paul."
Yeah.
And he just walks.
Because he's like, "You dumb farmer. You didn't even take time to read it." He's like, "Oh, I read it this morning with my advocate, Paul Heyman.
Poor Paul. He's just in the middle of all this.
I mean, I don't know where you guys want this to go, and of course, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it because it's too early to turn Roman babyface.
Right.
Because I'm not sure.
I feel like that would be a terrible idea.
I'm not sure it would fly.
No.
So
I think people would be upset.
I think that it's going to look that way, but it's not going to end up that way. I really don't.
But who's Paul Heyman? Whose side is he really on?
Yeah, he's on Roman Reigns' side.
Yeah, I think so too.
He is.
I think Brock is just playing this, trying to get in Roman's head before the match.
I mean, although if it happened and Paul got beat up and they beat him into babyface, that would be, it'd just be hard to do though, because he's backstabbing his client.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, I don't know how they could do that and keep him the way it is. You got to keep Roman heel. Listen,
Please.
I don't want to like Roman at all. But
we do.
I like him as a heel.
Yes.
You know, he's a good heel.
He's good where he is.
So, and that would be really bad to change that, in my opinion.
It would.
But all in all, you know, they did really good at building up a show. Have they said where it's at? I don't think they do.
So. I don't think they announced where it's taking place. Just that it's on October 22nd at noon, you know?
Yeah, some parking lot somewhere.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Just tune into Peacock and watch it.
That's right. Listen, a lot of cool stuff going on. We're really excited about the Rampage tonight. Can't wait to see the
Dynamite.
Well, yeah, can't wait to see Dynamite. Can't wait to see the ratings, but not the damn Fast Nationals, WWE. We don't care about the Fast National Overnights, WWE, because it's the weekend and they don't really all report. And, you know, somebody's been paying for those to come out because they're much lower than what you see on Monday.
Yes. So chill. Just chill and wait until Monday.
A little bit. Just chill a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. We're all good now. We're going to talk to you later this weekend because we're going to tell you all about New Japan and where we're at now, what all's happened,
so
what's
excited.
left, what the best matches so far have been, and which ones to watch out for next. We're going to give you a little Dizzo Mizite recap.
Yes.
And other than that, this lovely thing is Raja. I'm John. So long from Blind Tag Wrestling.
Bye.